welcome back to Cheap and Green. I am a fan of recycling furniture. I rescue furniture from the side of the road, I thrift furniture, I buy antique furniture, and I love hand-me-downs. The reason I like older furniture is because of the quality. You can get for very, very little money a very high quality piece of wood furniture, and you just couldn't get something new of the same level of quality. You have to know what to look for, because just because something is old doesn't mean it was good quality. You know, generally they made things of higher quality, but not always. And there's some things that maybe they're damaged and they're just going to be too hard and too expensive to repair. I want to show you what to look for when you're, rescuing a piece of furniture off the side of the road, buying something at Goodwill or off Craigslist or Kijiji, and when to just walk away. So this is an example of a 1940s chest of drawers. It has a waterfall edge, which is just a way of them bending the veneer. It's a fairly tricky process to do, so it's really nice when this is done well. The other thing is, this is original hardware, okay? This is solid brass, needs a polish, but okay, moving on. So this is in pretty good condition. Now, when I got it, this had been painted semi-gloss beige. It's basically like they painted the wall and they just kept going. So everything was beige, including the handles. Everything was beige. So it was really hard to tell what the quality of the wood was underneath. So this has been refinished. Obviously, it had to be stripped and sanded and refinished, which my lovely mother did because she's quite handy. But this is why it was worth the effort. Waterfall edge in really good condition. Right? All the scratches and chips here are because it's in my house. Original hardware, right? Really beautiful, flared design, solid brass hardware, all intact. Okay? And then you look down at the feet. They're all intact too. There's no missing veneer. Again, any chips that you see are because, it's part of my life. The other thing that you can look at, if we just open the drawer here, now this is hard to tell because it has been refinished, but you see these joints down here? This is called dovetail joinery. Okay, and this is a hallmark of very good quality furniture. The way this is designed with these little triangular sections of wood that slot in, this drawer will not pull apart, right? It is impossible for you to pull the drawer front off of this. It's just not going to happen. This piece of furniture was high quality enough that stripping it and refinishing it to the original wood was not a problem. That was a totally fine option. Now, it could have been painted if we wanted to do that, but because there is no obvious damage to it, it was fine to bring it up to its original wood. And it should also be noted that this is solid wood, but it is veneered. Okay, so that is very common. I don't know, I want to show you the stripes on this. So you can see that the grain goes up and down here, but it goes on the diagonal. Okay, so these are two different veneers. And as long as that's in good quality, that's, not damaged, not chipped, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with the veneer. So let's contrast to this dresser. Okay, this dresser I actually paid, I think just slightly over $20, like 21, 23, something like that. Now you can see that the top is damaged. This is actually a little bit lifted, but it's not very deep. So it could be sanded and it could be painted and it would be fine. So the rest of this, it does have original hardware. This piece does have a waterfall edge as well, which is in decent condition. But altogether you can feel that it's not as substantial. This is, I think, 1950s, probably late 50s, maybe even into 60s. Okay, so there's just a sort of feel of less substantiality to it. It's lighter in heft, and everything about it is just, it's a little bit less quality. So when we take a look at the drawers, we can see how differently this is made. This is just tacked on with nails. Okay, often with modern furniture, you'll see this stapled, but this one, it's just nailed in. These nails eventually will get loose, but for now they're intact. So even though this dresser is vintage, I wouldn't have paid a lot of money for it. Now it just so happens that it was the perfect dimensions that I needed for this room, and for $20 it was not a bad deal, but I certainly would not pay a lot for this piece, even though it is vintage, even though it does have the original hardware, because it's just not high quality and eventually it will need repair. So here we are down in my very messy basement with terrible lighting, so I'm sorry about that. But I wanted to show you another example of a 1940s dresser. This one needs a lot of work. This is very similar to the dresser upstairs, but it has broken veneer. Right now, because this is so buried, this is the only place I can show you, but it's quite bad on the other side as well. And it's been painted black all over, not very well. And these handles, these are wood, so not really worth a lot. I think they're probably still original though. But lo and behold, we still have an example of dovetail joinery. So this is solid wood, and once upon a time it was decent quality. Damaged veneer like this is really hard to repair perfectly. If you were going to try and strip this down like the other one and bring it back to the original wood finish, repairing something like this, especially in such a visible area, would be really, really hard to do. Not impossible, but really hard to do, especially for somebody who's just doing it as a weekend project, you know, like an amateur, like I am, right? But if I was just going to patch this, and I could patch this with wood putty and paint it, then I'm pretty sure that I could camouflage this and it wouldn't show with, you know, a nice chalk paint finish, something like that. And this could come up to be quite a nice chest of drawers. The best part is this is a curbside rescue. I paid nothing for this because it's not really worth very much, because it has so much work that it needs to be done. I'd be fine with replacing these handles if I wanted to, and it could come up and be actually quite a beautiful piece of furniture. Check with the chest of drawers is, can you open and close them easily? Some of them are a bit sticky. That's easy to fix. You just rub some candle wax on that, and yeah, it's just a bit sticky, probably because there's a lot of humidity in this basement too. Now, if there's ever a drawer that, you know, is really damaged and isn't sliding, again, that's hard, not impossible to fix, but hard and time consuming if you don't have the skill set. So it's important to note with these chests of drawers that I'm showing you, the high quality 1940s dovetail joints, to buy something of a similar quality, dovetail joinery, solid wood, lovely veneer, you would be talking probably upwards of $800. This is my latest acquisition, and I tell you, I am so thrilled that I finally found something. It is a 1940s china cabinet. It fits perfectly in this little nook here. Most of these cabinets are much, much wider. Some of them are on legs as well, and they come up higher, which is fine, but most of them are double this width. So to find something of this scale was huge for me. So some pros and cons. I mean, obviously pro, it fits perfectly. It's got the beautiful waterfall edge that I love, a nice detail on it. And this grill in front here is intact. A lot of times they're broken. So it's intact, it's in decent condition. That way, original hinges. And look at the original Bakelite handle. Okay, this is pre-plastic, so definitely 1940s. Amazing to find something with original hardware. So in cons, the top is damaged. You know, it's worn. There's some minor scratches and water damage on it, so maybe somebody had a plant on here or something at some point. But nothing's lifted and none of the veneer is broken. So I might just be able to polish this up with some dark wax and it would look fine. I could refinish it, probably won't bother. But there is some wear, you know, I mean, it's used, right? There's some wear, and it has a sort of general thinness to the wood. It's not as heavy as some of them could be, you know, but it's still not bad. It's got some lovely details on the fronts of the shelves. Pretty good detail on that, even if it's maybe a little more beat up than would be nice, but it was also a really great deal. This was a fabulous restore find, and it was $70, and I talked them down to $65, so I saved $5, woo! But I would have paid a lot more for something that fit this perfectly and was in, you know, really decent condition. What I'm trying to express is that it is worth putting a little bit of work for something that you don't pay a lot of money for and is high quality, decent condition, solid wood, because you can fix it, you can paint it, you can refinish it, change handles or not if you want to. And that compares to similar quality brand new furniture. Well, you're saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars by investing maybe an afternoon of work. So it really is worth pulling over the car and going and looking at that chest of drawers on the curb and then making an assessment about whether that's a project you're willing to take on, whether you have the skill set for it. Most of these, I mean, you're going to be talking about $20 investment to get them up to the condition that you would want to have in your home. It's a pretty good deal. Thanks for watching Cheap and Green. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of Cheap and Green. And I'd love to see projects that are curbside rescues or dumpster dives or Goodwill finds. So if you have furniture with a story, please do put your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.